You feel the weight of unfinished tasks pressing on your mind right now. It's that sinking feeling of knowing you want to change, but not sure where to start. Have you wondered why you begin with passion and end up losing energy before the week is over? Do you wish you could wake up with a clear plan that keeps you moving forward day after day? In this video, you'll learn how to build strong daily habits, track progress, remove distractions, and connect with people who support your goals. Imagine waking each morning with purpose, feeling a spark in your chest as you check off another win. These ideas will help you stay focused even when you're tired or life throws challenges. Are you ready to see real change? Keep watching and start taking back control of your consistency today. No more excuses. Let's begin this journey together. Chapter 1. Start each morning with clear purpose for your actions. You wake up and you already feel behind. The clock is ticking. Your mind is racing. You reach for your phone, check the notifications, and suddenly you're pulled into someone else's life, someone else's agenda, someone else's urgency. And without realizing it, your day starts without you in control. That's where most people lose the battle. Not at noon, not at 5 p.m., but in those first 10 minutes after waking up. That's when your day is won or lost. You want to be consistent, then you need to stop leaving your day to chance. You need to wake up every morning and know exactly what matters. You need a reason, a real reason, not some motivational slogan. You need a reason that's tied to your pain, to your hunger, to the promises you made to yourself in silence. Because if you don't give your day purpose, your distractions will, your doubts will, your fears will. And when that happens, the day will end exactly how it began, out of your hands. Staying consistent doesn't start with motivation. Motivation wears off. Inspiration fades. Life gets hard. People disappoint you. The world doesn't wait for you to feel good. And consistency doesn't care if you're tired. It only responds to purpose. Purpose is what gives your actions meaning. It's what keeps you from quitting when nobody's watching. It's what makes you get up when you've been knocked down again and again. You know what's real? That moment in the morning when you sit with yourself and you decide who you're going to be today. That's not a small thing. That's everything. That's where you win. That's where you get honest. That's where you check your excuses at the door and remind yourself of what's on the line. Because if your day doesn't start with purpose, it's going to end with regret. And regret is far heavier than discipline. I'm not talking about waking up with some perfect routine or smiling in the mirror like nothing's wrong. I'm talking about waking up and looking yourself in the eye and saying, "Today I take control. Today I follow through. Today I stop wasting time." Because no matter how busy you are, no matter how tired you feel, if you wake up with clarity, you will act with power. If you wake up with confusion, you will move with hesitation. And hesitation is how people lose the year. Now think about it. How many mornings have you wasted just reacting? Just scrolling? Just going through the motions? That's not you. That's not who you're meant to be. If you want to be consistent, then your morning has to be intentional. You don't need to do 1,000 things. You need to do one thing well. Wake up, sit in silence for 5 minutes, and ask yourself, what do I need to do today to move forward? That question is powerful. That question is a reset button. It gets your brain focused. It brings you back to your priorities. And most importantly, it connects you to your purpose. Because purpose is not some grand speech or a perfect vision board. Purpose is that quiet voice in your mind that reminds you why you started, why you can't go back, why you need to keep showing up even when it's hard. especially when it's hard. Consistency isn't about doing things perfectly. It's about doing the right things repeatedly, even when you don't feel like it. You're not always going to feel like working. You're not always going to feel like training. You're not always going to feel like being strong. But you don't need to feel like it. You need to act like it. You need to act like the version of you that's committed, the version of you that's focused, the version of you that's not looking for comfort. They're looking for results. And results come from direction, not just effort, not just hustle. You can work hard all day and still go nowhere if you don't have direction. That's why your morning matters. It sets your direction. It gives you structure. It keeps you grounded. Because life will throw chaos at you. People will challenge you. Plans will fall apart. But if your day starts with clarity, you'll stay steady. You'll keep moving forward. And that's where consistency is born. Not in perfection, not in hype, but in daily clarity. Ask yourself this. When you woke up this morning, did you decide your direction? Did you remind yourself of your standards? Did you reconnect with your why? Or did you just go through the motions again? I've seen too many people waste years because they gave their mornings away, because they forgot that the most powerful part of the day is the beginning. That's where momentum starts. That's where your mind gets shaped. That's where your emotions get anchored. And if you skip that part, if you just drift into your day without thinking, you're setting yourself up to drift through your life. Staying consistent doesn't mean being perfect every day. It means showing up with intention every day, even when you're tired, even when it's messy, even when life feels overwhelming. You show up anyway, because the alternative is regret. The alternative is a life you don't recognize, a life you didn't mean to build. If you're serious about growth, you need to be serious about your mornings. You need to wake up and check in with your purpose before the world checks in with you. You need to remember what you're fighting for. You need to connect with the pain you're trying to leave behind, because pain is a powerful teacher. Pain gives you urgency. Pain gives you focus. And when you're in touch with your pain and your purpose at the start of the day, you stop playing small. So what do you do tomorrow? You wake up and you don't touch your phone. You don't chase notifications. You sit with yourself. You ask yourself where you're going. You ask yourself what matters. You choose your direction before the world pulls you in 10 different ones. And then you move. You move with power. You move with purpose. You move with clarity. That's how you stay consistent. Not with hype. Not with big goals. But with small decisions made daily, backed by real purpose. That's what makes you strong. That's what keeps you going. And that's what separates people who talk from people who follow through. Now the choice is yours. Drift into your day, or direct it. React or respond. Stay the same or move forward. But don't lie to yourself. Don't say you want to be consistent if you're not willing to take control of your morning. Because everything starts there. Every win, every breakthrough, every result. It starts with the decision to begin the day with purpose. You're not too late. You're not too far behind. But you need to start now. Not tomorrow. Not when it's convenient. Now. Because your life is waiting. And it's not waiting forever. So wake up and take it back. Chapter 2. Build small habits daily to grow your self-trust. You will never trust yourself if you keep breaking the promises you make when no one is watching. That's where most people lose themselves. Not in failure, but in hesitation, in silence, in the space between wanting to change and actually doing something about it. The truth is, Self-trust isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, slowly, quietly, daily. You don't get strong by making big moves once in a while. You get strong by doing the right thing consistently when no one cares, when no one is clapping, and when no one is checking in. That's the secret. Build one small habit every day and keep that promise no matter what. Most people think the big goals are what make the difference. They're wrong. Big goals don't matter if your daily actions don't match your words. You don't trust yourself because every time you said you'd wake up early, you didn't. Every time you said you'd stop overthinking, you let fear decide. Every time you said you'd stick to the plan, you made excuses. And over time, your brain started to believe that you can't be counted on, that you can't follow through, that you're unreliable, and that belief slowly kills your confidence from the inside out. But the beautiful thing is, you can reverse it. You can earn your own respect back. You can become someone you rely on, not by making massive changes overnight, but by starting with one small habit and refusing to negotiate with it. One small win that becomes your daily non-negotiable. It could be drinking water first thing in the morning. It could be writing down what you're grateful for. It could be walking for 10 minutes before checking your phone. It doesn't need to be impressive. It needs to be consistent. Why does this matter? Because every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you send a message to your mind. I can depend on me. I am capable. I do what I say. That message, repeated daily, changes how you feel about yourself. It changes your tone. It changes your energy. And when you walk around knowing you can count on you, something shifts. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing other people to tell you who you are. You already know, because you built it. But don't lie to yourself. It's not easy. It's uncomfortable. It's boring. It's lonely. You're not going to get applause for brushing your teeth and reading 5 pages of a book. You're not going to go viral for meditating for 3 minutes a day. But those small acts, they are the foundation of greatness. Because when life gets heavy, you fall back on what you've built. And if you've built nothing, you fall apart. You're going to be tempted to skip, to rationalize, to say, it's just one day. But that's the trap. One day becomes 2. 2 becomes a week. And suddenly you're back to square one with more guilt and more doubt. Don't fall for it. Your brain is always listening. And every time you push through that resistance and do what you said you'd do, you strengthen your inner voice. You make it louder, stronger, clearer. There's something powerful about waking up and knowing that yesterday you followed through, that last night you didn't break, that today you're not starting over, you're building on something. That's how momentum works. It's built, not given. It's earned, not wished for. And once you feel it, once you taste that sense of I got this, it becomes addictive. You want to keep showing up. You want to keep winning. Because now it's personal. Think about how many times in your life you've said, I just need to be more confident. Confidence doesn't show up out of nowhere. Confidence is a result. It's the natural outcome of stacking small wins every day. When you consistently follow through, you feel stronger. You speak clearer. You stand taller. You stop second-guessing yourself. That's not magic. That's earned power. Now you might say, but I don't have time. You don't need hours. You need commitment. You need to stop chasing what looks impressive and start doing what actually moves the needle. 5 minutes a day of pure discipline is better than 1 hour of scattered effort once a week. It's not about intensity. It's about identity. Who are you becoming by doing this? What kind of person shows up every day, no matter how they feel? That's the person you want to become. And once you start building trust with yourself, something amazing happens. You stop depending on motivation. You start relying on identity. You don't need to feel inspired to do your morning habit. You do it because it's what you do. It's who you are. And that identity is what keeps you consistent when life gets messy. Look around you. Most people live in cycles of guilt and excuses. They don't change because they try to do too much, too fast. They start with huge expectations and fall flat. And instead of adjusting the plan, they quit. Don't be like that. You're smarter now. You understand this is a game of patience and persistence. And if you keep showing up with honesty and effort, the results will show up too. One of the greatest feelings in the world is looking back at a week and realizing you kept your word. You did what you said you would. You took care of your mind. You made yourself a priority. That feeling, that's real self-worth. That's real self-love. Not the kind you post online, but the kind you carry deep in your bones. You want to stop overthinking. Start doing. You want to stop doubting yourself. Start proving yourself right. Show your brain that you mean business. That when you commit, you deliver. And the only way to do that is to make it simple. One habit, one action, one win at a time. Start today, not next week, not when it's convenient. Right now, choose one habit. Make it small, make it clear, make it non-negotiable, and then do it every single day without excuses. That's how trust is built. That's how your life changes. That's how you stop living in your head and start living in reality. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You've just been stuck in a loop of making big plans and breaking them. That ends today. You take your power back by starting small. And once you do, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time: control. That quiet confidence that comes from keeping your word. This is your moment to start fresh. No more overthinking. No more waiting for the perfect time. No more breaking promises to yourself. Pick your habit. Commit to it. Stick with it. Because you deserve to trust yourself again, and that trust will change everything. Chapter 3. Track your progress visually to feel achievement every day. If you don't see your progress, you'll start believing you've made none, and that's when people give up. That's when doubt creeps in, not because they aren't trying hard, but because they're not seeing the proof that their effort is paying off. That's why tracking your progress visually every single day is not just helpful, it's essential. It's one of the most powerful things you can do for your mindset, your confidence, and your drive to keep going when the days get hard. Human beings need evidence. We need to see with our own eyes that we're moving forward. We need to feel a sense of growth, even if it's just a little. Without that feedback, we get lost in the grind. And when you feel like you're doing everything right but seeing no results, you start to question yourself. You start wondering, what's the point? And that question is dangerous. That question makes people quit when they're actually just one step away from a breakthrough. But what if you made your progress impossible to ignore? What if every single day you had visual proof that you're not stuck, you're actually becoming better, stronger, sharper? That changes everything. That turns vague ambition into momentum you can feel. That turns invisible growth into visible success. And the best part is, it doesn't have to be complicated. A simple calendar, a daily checklist, a habit tracker, a journal, a whiteboard with boxes, a wall full of sticky notes. You don't need something fancy, you just need something real. When you track your progress visually, something powerful happens in your brain. It releases a sense of reward. It gives you a hit of achievement, and that reward builds motivation from the inside out. Suddenly, your brain isn't just hoping you'll succeed. It believes it's happening because it sees it happening. You're not just thinking about results, you're watching them build in front of you. That's what keeps people consistent. That's what keeps people disciplined when motivation fades. Every time you check off that box, cross off that day, mark that step, you are sending a message to your brain. I am moving forward. I'm making this real. I'm not just talking about it. I'm showing up. And those little visual cues begin to rewire your mind. You go from feeling stuck to feeling proud. You go from confusion to clarity. You stop questioning your effort and start owning your progress. Think about how often people work hard in silence and then burn out because they feel invisible. They feel like nothing's changing. That's not because they failed. It's because they didn't track what they were doing. They didn't have a way to measure how far they've come. If you don't measure progress, your brain defaults to one belief: I'm not getting anywhere. But if you can see a wall of boxes marked done, or a page filled with check marks, or a streak that's going 20 days strong, you stop doubting. You start believing. You've got to make success something you can see. You've got to make it hard to ignore. You've got to walk into a room, look at the chart, the calendar, the notes, and say, that's mine. I built that. Because when you feel that sense of achievement every single day, it pushes you to keep going the next day. You're no longer relying on willpower. You're using momentum, and momentum beats motivation every time. There's something raw and honest about tracking your progress visually. It doesn't lie. It doesn't care how you felt. It cares whether you showed up. It tells the truth, and that truth keeps you focused. If you skipped a day, it's there. If you pushed through a hard one, it's there. That kind of feedback holds you accountable. You can't fool yourself when it's right in front of you. And this isn't about perfection. This is about pattern. This is about building the habit of showing up consistently. Even if you had a tough day, if you still checked the box, that means you didn't break. That means you chose to be disciplined over being comfortable. That's progress. That's what builds strength. That's what builds belief in yourself. The world is full of people who start something and never finish because they can't feel the results fast enough. You want to be different? Then start giving your brain proof. Visual proof. Daily proof. It's not about doing something massive. It's about doing something measurable. Something you can look at and say, there it is. I did it again. You don't have to track everything. Start with one thing, one goal, one habit, one system. Maybe it's a sheet where you cross off your workout. Maybe it's a board where you track your savings. Maybe it's a daily line in your notebook where you rate your focus or energy. Whatever it is, make it simple, make it clear, make it visible. And most important, do it every day, without fail. If you've ever felt like you're not enough, like you're falling behind, like you don't have what it takes, this is your way out. Because those feelings don't come from truth. They come from a lack of evidence. You've been doing the work, but you haven't been tracking it. And when you don't track your work, your brain assumes it doesn't exist. It forgets how far you've come. It forgets the battles you've already won. That ends today. Today, you stop guessing. You start measuring. You stop relying on hope. You start relying on hard data. Your own data. Your own effort, laid out in front of you, every day. When you do that, you start to feel something powerful: ownership. You stop waiting for others to recognize you. You recognize yourself. And that recognition gives you strength that no one can take away from you. No more vague progress, no more wondering if it's working. From this moment on, you make it visual, you make it real, you build a system that tracks every step forward. And you look at that system every single day to remind yourself, this is working. I am building something. I am going somewhere. I am not lost. I am not wasting time. I am making progress. And here's the proof. Start now, not tomorrow, not next week. Grab a notebook, open a document, tape a calendar to the wall, pick one goal, create one visual tracker, and commit to updating it daily. Show your brain what winning looks like. Let yourself feel the reward. Let yourself see the success build up over time. And as the days go by, watch what happens to your confidence. Watch what happens to your discipline. Watch what happens to your belief in yourself. This is how you stay in the game. This is how you win. Not by hoping, not by waiting, but by tracking your progress visually and feeling that sense of achievement every day, no matter how small. That's your edge. That's your advantage. That's the version of you that doesn't give up. Build it. Live it. Be it. Starting now. Chapter 4. Remove distractions now to keep your mind fully focused. Distractions steal your power and scatter your mind. If you don't cut them out now, they will keep you trapped in frustration and failure. The truth is this: you cannot focus deeply when your attention is being pulled in every direction. The world is full of noise, interruptions, and temptations designed to derail you. Those distractions are the silent killers of your dreams. They don't shout, they whisper and chip away at your ability to concentrate until you're left exhausted, overwhelmed, and far from where you want to be. Every day you allow distractions to linger, you're surrendering your control. Your mind is like a muscle, and distractions are the weight that drags it down, keeping it weak and unfocused. If you want to perform at your best, if you want to build momentum toward your goals, you have to be ruthless in protecting your attention. You have to remove the noise, the interruptions, and anything that steals your energy and focus. When you sit down to work or pursue your dreams, and your phone buzzes with another notification, your mind immediately shifts. It doesn't just waste a moment, it wastes a chunk of your brain power. It takes time to refocus, to rebuild the thread of thought that was broken. These little interruptions add up, and suddenly your day disappears, stolen by distractions disguised as small breaks. It's painful to admit, but most of us don't realize how much time and energy we give away. We think multitasking helps, but it's a lie. It actually fragments your mind and reduces your ability to do deep, meaningful work. The deeper your focus, the better your results. And that focus comes from removing everything that fights for your attention. You're not just competing against other people or their opinions, you're competing against your own impulses and habits. The urge to check your phone, to open a new tab, to look at social media, to answer every email as it arrives, these are distractions programmed into your brain by habit and convenience. You have to fight back intentionally. You have to create boundaries so strong that distractions bounce off like a shield. Start by being honest with yourself about what distracts you most. Is it your phone? The endless scroll of apps that promise entertainment but deliver procrastination? Is it noise in your environment? Interruptions from people who don't respect your time? Or is it your own wandering mind, jumping from one thought to the next without discipline? Once you identify the biggest thieves of your attention, take action immediately. Turn off notifications. Put your phone in another room. Close tabs that aren't necessary. Use apps or tools to block websites during your work sessions. Tell those around you when you need uninterrupted time. Create a dedicated space where your mind knows it's time to focus. The fight against distractions isn't just external, it's deeply internal. Your brain craves stimulation. It wants the quick hit of dopamine from checking messages or jumping to a new task. That craving is powerful, but it's not stronger than your will. You have the power to decide where your mind goes. You can build a habit of single-minded focus that becomes automatic over time. Imagine what it would feel like to sit down and work with complete clarity, to have your mind sharp and undisturbed, to enter a state where your thoughts flow freely and your creativity bursts. That's the power of removing distractions. That's the freedom of focused energy. When your mind isn't being pulled in 10 different directions, you become unstoppable. You have to protect your focus like it's the most valuable asset you own, because it is. It's what determines how fast you grow, how much you accomplish, and how far you rise. Every distraction you allow is a leak in your tank. Fix those leaks now and watch how your energy lasts longer, how your work improves, and how your confidence grows. Distractions also kill momentum. When your attention slips, you lose the thread of progress. You stop building the habit of discipline. Instead, you create a cycle of starting and stopping, motivation rising and falling. That cycle makes success feel impossible, but when you remove distractions, you break that cycle. You create flow. You build unstoppable momentum that carries you forward day after day. Many people try to push through distractions by sheer force, but that's exhausting. The smarter way is to remove the distractions first, then let your focus do the work. You're not relying on willpower alone. You're designing your environment and habits to support your goals. That's where true discipline lives, not in fighting every distraction, but in not giving them a place to grow. The difference between those who reach their goals and those who don't often comes down to this simple choice. Will you let distractions control you, or will you control your distractions? Will you let your mind be pulled apart, or will you guard your attention fiercely? When you decide to guard your focus, you are choosing clarity over chaos, progress over delay, action over avoidance. Start now by removing one distraction from your daily life. One thing you know steals your attention without giving anything valuable back. Maybe it's social media for 30 minutes a day, or your phone on your desk while working, or background noise you don't even realize pulls at your mind. Remove it. Notice the calm that follows. Notice how your energy sharpens. Notice how you reclaim time you thought you never had. It won't be easy at first. Your brain will protest. You'll feel the urge to check, to respond, to be entertained. That's normal. That resistance is the fight between old habits and new discipline. Every time you resist, you build strength. Every time you protect your focus, you train your mind to value what matters. Remember, focus is a skill. It grows when nurtured and starves when ignored. It demands respect. Treat it like a precious resource, because it is exactly that. The future you want, the success you dream of, depends on your ability to focus deeply and consistently. The path forward is clear. Remove distractions now. Build boundaries that protect your mind. Create rituals that signal focus time. Train your brain to resist the urge to wander. And watch how your life transforms. Your work will be sharper, your goals closer, and your confidence stronger than ever before. This moment is your turning point. Decide today that distractions will no longer dictate your results. You are taking back control of your attention. You are claiming the power to focus fully and move forward with unstoppable momentum. Keep your mind clear, your vision sharp, and your actions purposeful. That is how success is built. That is how champions are made. Remove distractions now and unlock your true potential. Chapter 5. Reward yourself genuinely when you meet small daily goals. You keep chasing success like it's a mountaintop. But what if I told you that your real power comes from how you treat yourself at every single step along the climb? You've been taught to grind, to hustle, to never stop. You've been told to delay every reward, to wait until it's big enough, important enough, public enough to celebrate. But that mindset is silently draining your motivation. You're doing the work, showing up every day, pushing forward, but because you never stop to recognize your progress, your mind starts believing that it doesn't matter, that it's never enough, that you're always behind. This is the trap that burns people out before they ever reach the finish line. Your brain is wired to chase progress, to seek satisfaction, to want to feel like the effort matters. And when you meet your small daily goals, when you do what you said you'd do, you're laying the foundation for greatness. But if you don't stop and acknowledge those wins, even in the simplest ways, your spirit starts to feel invisible. You become a machine rather than a human, and your momentum dies in silence. That's why you need to reward yourself. Genuinely, deliberately, every single day you follow through. Think about it. If you trained a dog to sit, and every time it did, you just walked away without a word, how long would it keep trying? Not long. Because behavior without positive reinforcement doesn't stick. Now imagine your mind is the same. If you want to build habits, if you want to grow stronger, more focused, more disciplined, you have to feed that growth with recognition. The rewards don't need to be extravagant. They just need to be real. A quiet moment of reflection, a walk in the sun, a smile in the mirror, a note of encouragement to yourself, something that signals to your brain, yes, this matters, yes, I'm proud. That small act plants a powerful seed, because you're no longer just surviving your goals, you're celebrating them. You've been conditioned to think that celebrating small wins is weak or premature, that it's better to stay humble and keep grinding in silence. But that mindset robs you of the fuel you need to stay consistent. When you hit a target and reward yourself, you send a message to your subconscious that you're a person who follows through. And that message becomes a belief. And that belief becomes your identity. The people who build unshakable momentum in life aren't just disciplined, they're emotionally connected to their own progress. They've built a system that lets them feel achievement in real time, not someday in the future. They don't wait for outside applause. They know that the most powerful motivation comes from internal pride. Let me tell you this, your effort deserves more than silence. If you showed up today, if you made one tiny decision that aligned with your higher self, you deserve to recognize it. Not in a fake way, not in a way that makes excuses for falling short, but in a real, grounded, honest way that says I did what I promised. I'm becoming who I said I would become. That recognition matters, because when your mind starts associating effort with positive emotion, the habit sticks. You stop needing willpower. You stop fighting resistance. The process becomes something you crave. You begin to show up not just because you have to, but because you want to feel that progress again. And here's the part no one tells you. When you start rewarding your small wins, your big wins get even better. Why? Because you didn't abandon yourself on the way up. You were with yourself through the struggle. You acknowledged the early steps. You built a relationship with your own growth. So when success finally arrives, it feels earned, not accidental. If you're someone who constantly feels like they're never doing enough, This practice will save you, because it will teach you to honor the process. You'll stop seeing your life as a never-ending race to a finish line you can't see. You'll start seeing it as a journey where each step matters. You'll begin to feel grounded, focused, grateful, and that energy is magnetic. It pulls you forward. You've probably had days where you stuck to your plan, made progress, and then ended the day feeling empty. That's what happens when we don't reinforce success. The brain doesn't know if what we did was good or bad. It only knows what we tell it. And if we end each day without any emotional reward, our brain starts to question whether it's worth it. But if you end the day with a genuine moment of pride, you begin building a mind that fights for you. This isn't about ego. It's about building a system of psychological momentum. When you treat your growth like something sacred, when you reward your consistency, you strengthen your ability to keep going when life gets hard. You anchor your motivation in something solid, the fact that you keep your promises to yourself. So what does that look like today? It could mean journaling about what you did right. It could mean giving yourself 10 minutes of quiet time as a gift. It could mean listening to your favorite song after a focused work session. It could mean preparing your favorite healthy meal because you stuck to your plan. The key is that it feels genuine, that it feels connected to your effort, that it says this mattered, I matter. And once you build this habit, once you wire your mind to look forward to that reward, you become someone who can sustain progress for a lifetime. You'll be shocked at how much more consistent you become. You'll stop burning out. You'll stop resenting the grind. You'll begin to associate effort with joy. And that's when the real transformation happens. Because now you're no longer waiting for permission to feel good. You're not waiting for some massive breakthrough. You're living in progress every day. You're turning self-discipline into self-respect. You're turning effort into confidence. You're proving to yourself that your growth is worth celebrating. So here's your challenge. Don't let another day go by without rewarding yourself. Start today. Choose one thing you're proud of. One small decision you followed through on, and give yourself credit for it. Not fake, not forced, but real. Feel it. Own it. Let it remind you that this journey is working. Let it anchor you in pride, not pressure. And if you do that every single day, if you reward your effort, honor your consistency, and stay emotionally connected to your growth, you will build a version of yourself so strong, so focused and so energized that no obstacle will stop you. Celebrate your steps. Honor your daily wins. You are already becoming everything you want to be. Let yourself feel it. Chapter 6. Plan your week ahead to avoid losing any momentum. You don't lose momentum because you're lazy, you lose it because you're winging life without a plan. That chaos in your head, that fog you feel every Monday morning, that anxiety you carry into your week, wondering how everything will fit. It's not because you're weak, it's because you're walking into battle without a strategy. And every time you do that, you give away your power. Here's the truth. Life doesn't slow down for you to catch your breath. If you don't grab control of your time, it will be stolen from you by distractions, by other people's priorities, by random obligations that don't move your life forward. You think you'll figure it out as you go, but what actually happens is you react to everything around you. You put out fires instead of building something real, and slowly your energy bleeds out through 1,000 small decisions you didn't make on purpose. That's why you must plan your week before it begins. Not for perfection, not to control every minute, but to set your direction with intention. Because when you know exactly what matters most this week, what to focus on, what to finish, what to protect, you stop living like a passenger in your own life. You become the one driving it. Think about the weeks where you felt unstoppable. They weren't random. You had clarity. You had purpose. You knew what needed to be done. And when there was no internal debate every morning, you weren't scrambling. You weren't hesitating, you were executing, and it felt powerful, didn't it? Now compare that to the weeks where everything felt heavy, where nothing got done, where you wasted time, avoided tasks, and ended the week frustrated with yourself. That didn't happen because you didn't care. It happened because you didn't prepare. You didn't claim your time before the world took it. This is your life we're talking about. Every week is a building block of your future. Every decision shapes the person you're becoming. If you want momentum, if you want consistency, if you want to finally break out of the cycle of starting strong and burning out, then you need to plan your week like your life depends on it. Because it does. Momentum is fragile. You can spend a month building it and lose it in a single week of disorganization. But here's the beautiful part. You can rebuild it faster than you think. All it takes is a Sunday night or a Monday morning. Sit down, breathe, look at your life. Ask yourself, what are the top 3 things I must move forward this week to get closer to who I want to become? Not 20 things. Not a never-ending to-do list, just 3 high-impact targets. Once you know them, you carve out time for them. You don't wait to find time. You make time. You protect it like your life depends on it, because the future you're building does. And while you're planning, don't just schedule work. Schedule your recovery. Schedule your growth, your movement, your stillness. Make space for everything that keeps your energy strong, because a week filled with only tasks and no fuel is a setup for burnout, not progress. You must become the architect of your time. You must build your weeks like a builder lays bricks, purposefully, thoughtfully, with vision. If you don't, the days will blur together, and soon a year will pass without anything truly changing, and you'll look back wondering where your time went. Here's something most people never realize. Discipline isn't just about doing hard things. It's about designing a life that makes doing the right things easier. And that begins with planning. You take the chaos out of your mind and lay it out on paper. You stop thinking in loops and start thinking in priorities. That's how clarity is born. When you have clarity, your energy focuses. You stop chasing urgency and start creating meaning. You stop reacting and start executing. And that's when your momentum becomes unstoppable, because you're no longer battling confusion. You're moving through life with purpose. Even if your plans change, and they will, you still win. Because the act of planning builds mental structure. It gives you a reference point, a compass. So even when things go sideways, you can adjust with awareness instead of collapsing into overwhelm. You stay grounded. You stay in control. Let this be your turning point. No more waking up and hoping the day goes well. No more entering your week on autopilot. From now on, you set the tone. You decide your focus. You build a life that matches your potential. Start with 1 week. Just one. Sit down today and design it. Not in theory, in action. What are your priorities? When will you work on them? How will you make space for your mind, your body, your goals? What distractions will you eliminate before they steal your time? The moment you finish that plan, you'll feel different. You'll feel lighter, stronger, more in control, and when the week begins, You won't hesitate. You'll step into it with clarity and confidence. That's the feeling you've been chasing. And it's not something you find. It's something you create. Momentum is not luck. It's the outcome of planning backed by action. If you don't want to keep starting over, you have to stop losing track of your time. Build your momentum like a fire and guard it with your life. Now go. Don't let another week slip through your fingers. Claim it. Design it. Live it like it matters. Because it does. And once you start doing that consistently, you won't just change your weeks. You'll change your life. Chapter 7. Visualize your success vividly to fuel your daily drive. You are not tired. You are uninspired because you stopped seeing the future you were once hungry to chase. Most people don't burn out because they're working too hard. They burn out because they've lost connection with why they started. They stopped feeding the fire inside. They forgot what it feels like to see the life they're fighting for. If you don't wake up with a clear image in your mind of the person you are becoming, your drive will slowly die, even if your goals still matter. That's why visualizing your success isn't just some fluffy motivational advice. It's psychological fuel. It's mental oxygen. Close your eyes and go there for a second. Picture yourself at your absolute best. Confident, focused, energized, in control of your life. Picture the room you live in, the smile on your face, the way people look at you, the way you walk into a space with unshakable calm. That person is not a fantasy. That's the real you waiting to be activated by daily clarity. You don't rise because you hustle harder than others. You rise because you stay connected to your vision when everyone else forgets theirs. When you start your day seeing yourself crossing the finish line, showing up fully, succeeding at what matters most, that vision will pull you through the hours that feel heavy. You can either live reacting to your surroundings, or you can live driven by a future that excites you. Most people choose the first path without realizing it. They scroll through their phones, compare their lives, absorb everyone else's energy, and wonder why they feel empty. But those who win long term, they decide every morning to see something different. They feed their mind with the image of what they're becoming. They condition their identity over and over again with the picture of their potential. And that picture becomes a compass, a weapon, a reason to push when motivation disappears. Visualization isn't magic. It's a tool, and like any powerful tool, it only works if you use it intentionally. That means you take 5 minutes each morning, and you see yourself winning. You breathe like that version of you. You think like them. You move like them. You ask yourself, what decisions would this version of me make today? And then you make them. That's alignment. That's focus. That's internal power. People think discipline is cold and robotic, but true discipline is deeply emotional. It's rooted in a powerful why that you feel every single day. When you wake up and imagine the impact you could have, the freedom you could create, the legacy you could build, that emotional energy is what fuels the work. It's not about forcing yourself to act. It's about falling in love with your future so deeply that you're pulled into action. So ask yourself this: what does success look like for you? Not in vague terms. I mean details. What time are you waking up? What do your mornings feel like? Who are you spending your time with? What kind of work are you doing that lights you up inside? How strong do you feel in your body? What kind of energy do you walk with when nobody's watching? The more vivid it is, the more powerful it becomes, because the mind is like a GPS. If you don't put in a clear destination, it won't guide you anywhere meaningful. But if you feed it a detailed picture, if you emotionally connect with where you want to go, your mind will find paths, people and ideas that align with that outcome. It's not luck, it's focus. Look around. Most people are running on autopilot. They haven't visualized their success in weeks, months. Some haven't done it in years, and yet they wonder why they feel lost, why their drive fades. It's because their inner movie is blank. Their mental screen is full of stress, doubt, comparison. They never replaced it with a vision of power, peace, progress. But you right now, you get to change that. You get to take control of the images you play in your mind. You get to stop replaying your mistakes and start rehearsing your future victories. You get to stop imagining worst-case scenarios and start building a picture of what's possible when you show up fully. And don't just do it once. Make it a daily ritual. When you wake up, see yourself succeeding. Before you open social media, visualize your win. Before you start a difficult task, imagine the result. That simple act trains your brain to crave the work instead of resist it. Because now the work is connected to something emotional, something personal, something that matters. And here's the best part. The more vividly you visualize, the more you believe. The more you believe, the more consistent your actions become. And the more consistent you are, the faster your life begins to reflect the vision you've been carrying all along. You don't have to wait until your goals are real to feel the success. You can feel it now. You can live from that energy right now. And when you do, your confidence explodes. Your mind sharpens. Your days align. Suddenly you're not just grinding. You're evolving. You're stepping into the life you once thought was far away. This is how you stop drifting and start building. This is how you wake up with hunger instead of hesitation. You don't just remind yourself of what you want. You see it. You experience it in your mind. You feel it in your body. And then brick by brick, day by day, you build it in the real world. So stop waiting to feel inspired. Start creating the inspiration from within. Feed your drive by feeding your vision. Make it so clear, so compelling, so alive in your mind that you can't help but move. And every time you feel lost, pause and return to that vision. Reconnect, refocus. Remember who you're becoming. The future is already waiting for you, but only if you can see it clearly enough to chase it with everything you've got. Chapter 8. Prioritize tasks carefully to preserve your energy and focus. You're not overwhelmed because you have too much to do. You're overwhelmed because you haven't decided what actually matters. Every single day, your energy is either being invested or wasted. There is no in-between. The reason so many people feel drained, unfocused, and stuck isn't because they lack potential. It's because they wake up with no clear sense of priority. They confuse movement with progress. They confuse being busy with being productive. And in the process, they burn out without ever breaking through. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more clarity. You need to decide, with ruthless precision, what deserves your time, your effort, your focus. And more importantly, what doesn't. Think about it. How many times have you started your day feeling like you're already behind? Like you're sprinting just to keep up, constantly reacting to emails, messages, distractions. You're not moving toward your goals, you're just surviving the noise. That's not how you win. That's how you slowly lose your drive, your creativity, your belief in yourself. The truth is, not all tasks are created equal. Some give you energy, momentum, clarity. Others suck the life out of you. If you don't take control of what you focus on, life will fill your day with everything except what actually matters. That's why you have to prioritize, like your life depends on it, because your future does. Successful people aren't superhuman. They've just learned the art of elimination. They don't try to do everything. They focus on the few things that move them forward the fastest. They say no more than they say yes. They don't chase every opportunity. They choose the ones aligned with their vision. That's how they preserve their energy. That's how they stay sharp. That's how they keep showing up day after day without burning out. So what does this mean for you? It means stop reacting and start planning. Stop doing what's urgent and start doing what's important. Before your day begins, sit down and ask yourself, what is the one task that, if completed today, will make everything else easier or even unnecessary? That one question will save you from 1,000 hours of wasted effort. Your mind can't focus on everything at once. It wasn't built to. Multitasking is a lie. All it does is split your focus and drain your energy. The more scattered your attention, the weaker your results. But the more you concentrate on what matters most, the faster you grow, the stronger you feel, the more powerful your days become. Here's the truth: nobody tells you energy is not just physical, it's mental. Every time you shift your focus from one meaningless task to another, you deplete your mental bandwidth. You become more exhausted, more distracted, more discouraged. But when you wake up, choose 3 key tasks, and give them your full presence, you win the day before it even begins. And don't confuse urgency with importance. Just because something feels urgent doesn't mean it deserves your attention. Notifications are urgent. Other people's demands are urgent. But your goals, your health, your purpose, those are important. And if you don't protect them, they'll slowly fade while you drown in distractions. You've got to be intentional. You've got to learn to disappoint the world so you can honor yourself. You've got to say no to the noise so you can say yes to your future. Start building a habit of asking yourself, what am I doing right now, and is it moving me toward the life I want? If the answer is no, stop, redirect, realign. That's not weakness. That's mastery. That's ownership. You don't rise by doing more. You rise by doing less of what doesn't serve you and more of what aligns with your mission. Every time you say yes to something trivial, you're saying no to something transformational. Your time is limited. Your energy is precious. Treat it that way. And don't wait until you feel ready to prioritize. Clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from action. The moment you sit down, look at your day, and choose what matters most, your brain sharpens, your will strengthens. You begin to feel that momentum again, that sense of control, that certainty that says, I know what I'm doing, and I know why I'm doing it. This is how you stop being reactive and start being relentless. This is how you stop draining yourself with 10 pointless tasks and start building your future with 3 powerful ones. This is how you preserve your energy for what truly counts, your growth, your goals, your greatness. You are not here to be busy, you're here to be effective. You're not here to get through the day. You're here to use the day to build the life you want. So make a choice right now. Look at your schedule. Look at your habits. Look at what's stealing your focus and silently burning your energy every day. Then cut it. Reclaim your hours. Reinforce your goals and rewire your brain to protect your energy like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Your future will not be built by random activity. It will be built by consistent intentionality. Focus is not a personality trait, it's a skill, and you sharpen it every time you say, "This matters," and "This doesn't." So take that power back. Prioritize your day like a warrior protecting their mission. Guard your energy like it fuels your legacy. Build your life one clear, focused task at a time. And if you do that, day after day, with discipline and purpose, your results won't just change, you will change. You'll become the version of yourself that doesn't just dream, but executes with precision. Chapter 9. Adapt your approach quickly when setbacks test your resolve. When life hits you hard and everything feels like it's crumbling, the question isn't whether you'll face setbacks, it's how fast you will rise and adjust your course. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced moments when their plans fell apart, when their confidence cracked, and when the path ahead disappeared into uncertainty. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit is not luck or talent. It's the ability to adapt, to change, to bend without breaking. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is fierce, the rain is relentless, and the ground beneath you shakes. You have two choices: dig your heels in and fight against the storm until you're exhausted, or shift your stance, lean into the wind and use its force to propel you forward. The latter is the art of adaptation, the secret weapon that turns setbacks into comebacks. When obstacles appear, your first reaction might be frustration, fear, or anger. That's natural. But what if, instead of sinking into those emotions, you trained yourself to see setbacks as signals? Signals that tell you something about your current approach needs to change. They are not walls but crossroads. Not failures, but lessons waiting to be learned. Every setback is a message wrapped in discomfort. The sooner you decode it, the quicker you regain control. Your mindset becomes your greatest asset. Resilience is not stubbornness, it's flexibility. The power to say, "This isn't working. What can I do differently?" Think about a river flowing through the landscape. When it meets a rock, it doesn't stop. It finds a new route. It carves a new path. It keeps moving forward. Your journey should be no different. Setbacks aren't endpoints, they're detours. The challenge is to find your new way and keep pushing. It's tempting to cling to your original plan, to believe that if you just try harder, things will fall into place. But persistence without adaptation is stubbornness that blinds you. True strength comes from pausing, reflecting, and adjusting your approach quickly. Not waiting for months or years, not ignoring the signs, but making changes the moment you see resistance. Ask yourself, what part of my strategy is no longer serving me? What assumptions did I make that turned out wrong? How can I shift my tactics without losing sight of my goal? This kind of self-inquiry unlocks a deeper level of awareness. It opens your mind to creative solutions you didn't see before. Remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you face uncertainty and lean into it. Every setback is a gift, disguised as a challenge. When you stop fearing failure and start embracing it as feedback, you free yourself from the paralysis of perfectionism. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating breakthroughs out of imperfect circumstances. Here's a truth that changes everything. The faster you adapt, the less time you spend stuck. The longer you resist change, the more energy you waste fighting against reality. Adaptation is a form of efficiency. It conserves your energy and redirects it where it counts most. When your first approach doesn't work, it doesn't mean you've failed. It means you've discovered what doesn't work. That's progress. It's a step forward because you're closer to the path that will lead you to your success. Your mind is a powerful tool. It can either trap you in stories of defeat or liberate you with new perspectives. When setbacks hit, remind yourself that your identity is not tied to any single plan or outcome. Your identity is the ability to persevere, to innovate, and to evolve. Surround yourself with this mindset daily. Celebrate the small wins of adjusting your course. Recognize the courage it takes to say, "I need to try something different." Each shift you make is a victory over stagnation and fear. Adaptation is not about abandoning your dreams. It's about finding new ways to achieve them. Sometimes the path you imagined isn't the path you need. Let go of attachment to a specific route and hold tight to your vision instead. The roadblocks you face are temporary. Your determination to adapt is permanent. The most successful people are not those who avoid obstacles. They are the ones who dance through them with grace and strategy. So the next time life tests your resolve, pause before you panic. Breathe, reassess. Ask yourself what's working, what's not, and what you can do differently. Then act. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Move forward with imperfect wisdom. Your ability to adjust quickly is your superpower. It's the difference between falling into despair and rising stronger, between giving up and pushing through, between remaining stuck and becoming unstoppable. You are not defined by the setbacks you encounter, but by the strength you show in response. Each challenge is a chapter in your story of resilience, and your story is far from over. Embrace change. Own your flexibility. Let setbacks be the fuel that drives your evolution, not the weight that holds you down. You have the power to rewrite your path every single day. Use it. Adapt fast. Rise higher. The world is waiting for the version of you who refuses to be stopped. Now take a moment to think about the last time a setback hit you hard. What did you learn? How can you adjust your approach today to move forward with even more determination? This is your call to action. Commit right now to respond to every challenge with agility. Refuse to be paralyzed by failure. Train your mind to pivot quickly and keep your eyes on the prize. Your resilience is your victory. Your adaptability is your strength. Your future is created by the choices you make when the pressure is greatest. Step into your power. Adapt, overcome, conquer. If you want more strategies to build unshakable resolve and bounce back faster than ever, I'm here to help you take the next step. Your comeback story starts today. Chapter 10. Connect with supportive people to strengthen your daily efforts. No one achieves greatness alone. Your daily victories depend on the strength of the people you surround yourself with. When you're chasing a dream or pushing through tough days, the energy and mindset of those around you either lift you higher or drag you down. Imagine waking up every morning with a team of supporters who believe in you, who remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself, who challenge you to be better without tearing you down. That kind of connection is not just comforting, it's essential for your progress. It's easy to think we have to carry everything by ourselves, that asking for help is a weakness or a distraction. But the truth is the opposite. Connecting with the right people accelerates your growth, protects your focus, and fuels your determination when your own reserves run low. Think about the times you've felt overwhelmed or stuck. Maybe it was a project that seemed impossible or a goal that felt out of reach. In those moments, did you find someone who could guide you, listen without judgment, or push you gently forward? That support can be the difference between giving up and pushing through. Supportive people don't just cheer from the sidelines, they get involved. They hold you accountable with kindness. They celebrate your wins genuinely. They offer perspectives you wouldn't see alone. Their belief becomes a mirror reflecting your own inner strength back to you when doubt clouds your vision. Building this network isn't about collecting contacts or being popular. It's about creating meaningful bonds with those who share your values, understand your journey, and inspire you to keep going when the path gets hard. It's about finding those rare souls who resonate with your mission and energize your purpose. Have you noticed how your mood shifts after spending time with certain people? Some leave you drained, anxious, or distracted. Others leave you energized, focused, and confident. This is no accident. It's the invisible power of social influence at work. Protecting your mental and emotional space by choosing your company wisely is an act of self-respect and strategy. Support comes in many forms. Sometimes it's a mentor offering wisdom from experience. Other times, it's a peer who understands your struggles firsthand and stands beside you. It might be a friend who listens patiently or a community that shares your passion. Each connection strengthens a different part of your resilience. When you actively seek out supportive relationships, you create a safety net beneath your ambitions. This net catches you when you falter and propels you higher when you rise. It makes your journey less lonely and infinitely more rewarding. Connecting with supportive people also expands your horizon. They introduce you to new ideas, challenge your assumptions, and open doors you didn't know existed. Their faith in your potential can ignite a fire in you that no self-motivation alone could spark. But connection requires vulnerability. It means showing up authentically and allowing others to see your struggles, your hopes, and your imperfect moments. This courage builds trust and deepens bonds that can weather the toughest storms. If you're afraid of rejection or judged for your ambitions, remember that the right people will embrace your journey wholeheartedly. They won't diminish your dreams but will add fuel to your fire. You deserve relationships that nurture your growth, not drain your spirit. Sometimes building this circle means letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It can be painful to cut ties with people who don't support your progress or who sap your energy with negativity. But freeing yourself from these influences creates space for uplifting connections that align with your vision. Imagine the power of having just one person who believes in your ability to overcome every obstacle, who holds you accountable with love, and who celebrates your small wins as fiercely as you do. Multiply that by several people, and your momentum becomes unstoppable. This support system becomes your daily fuel. When motivation dips, their words remind you why you started. When challenges arise, their presence reassures you that you're not alone. When success comes, their joy amplifies your gratitude and determination to aim even higher. The people you connect with shape the energy of your daily efforts far more than you realize. Choose wisely. Seek those who inspire action, instill confidence, and elevate your mindset. Cultivate relationships that demand your best and support your growth without hesitation. Make it a priority to invest time and energy into these connections. Reach out, engage, listen, and share. The reciprocity of giving and receiving support creates a cycle of empowerment that fuels everyone involved. Remember, your network is a reflection of your self-worth. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you sends a powerful message to your subconscious. You are worthy of support, success, and happiness. The journey to your best self is a collective effort, even if the final steps are yours alone. When you align yourself with the right people, your daily efforts gain strength, clarity, and resilience. You create a force field against doubt and distraction. Now is the time to look around. Who is in your circle? Are they helping you grow or holding you back? What steps can you take today to deepen supportive relationships or build new ones? Your future depends on the company you keep. Make the commitment to connect with people who elevate your spirit and sharpen your focus. Your progress accelerates when you refuse to walk the path alone. You owe it to yourself to build a tribe that champions your growth every single day. This network is your secret weapon, the foundation of unstoppable momentum. Take action now. Reach out to someone who believes in your potential. Join communities that resonate with your goals. Let go of influences that drain your energy. Protect your journey with supportive connections. Your best days are ahead, fueled by the power of connection. If you want guidance on building these life-changing relationships and harnessing their strength to amplify your daily efforts, I'm here to help you make it happen. Your breakthrough is closer than you think.